Alrighty, good morning, good morning. Let me put my tweet out real quick. That is done, good to go. And hope you guys are having a good Friday already. I've been up for a few hours so far. Kind of got a good night of sleep, which is a little unusual, but I'm kind of go through one of those cycles where I'll have like several nights of little to no sleep, and then my body just says enough's enough, and I just kind of go dead to the world and finally catch up a little bit on it. But last night I don't remember anything. I'm sure my husband snored like a bear as usual, but I was just so tired after this last few nights of uncomfortable sleep that I guess I just kind of zonked out. So I'm not feeling as zombie-like as I usually do, but I'm still glad it's Friday and looking forward to the weekend. Mostly because we've already been getting our like holiday stuff out. So my son set up the tree yesterday afternoon for me. So we'll probably be finishing up some of the decorating there. We're not actually going to be decorating the tree yet. I have some different plans. Normally my son and I decorate it up as soon as we put the tree up. And then, the decorated tree is there for the whole month. And when my in-laws come over, they're able to see it and everything. But this year we're doing something different. I don't know how well it's going to go over because, like I said yesterday, I love to torture my family. So this year, the tree is going to be bare until Christmas Day when the family gets together. And what I'm going to do is usually have the dining table already decked out with all of the place settings and everything. And this year I'm doing it different. We're just going to put like some butcher's paper or something on the table. And I'm going to set up all these little workstations, and we're going to craft as a family all of the decorations that will be going up. So I've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 little crafting projects that I plan on having them work on. And I'm hoping that it will be just kind of a goofy, fun time. Half the time when they come over, everyone's kind of undecided. Do we watch a movie or do we just chit chat? And then there's a lot of awkward silences. So I'm hoping that, sometimes we do games and stuff too, but I'm hoping that throwing in a little bit of crafting as well, and getting them to actually help make some of the decorations and stuff will help kind of not only pass a little bit of time, but just be amusing for those. Especially, it doesn't matter if they're not very crafted oriented, making things, but I think it'll be kind of fun. I know they had fun with some of the other stuff last year that they were fussing about when they heard what they were going to be doing, but in the end it worked out really well. So I'm hoping that it will be the same this year with that. So we have the tree up, but there's no decorations on it. That will come later. And of course I'm going to try and take pictures and stuff. I noticed there's already people posting pictures of their cookies and cakes and things, and I just haven't gotten to that yet. I think it's a little too early for us because, one, we don't really eat a lot of cookies and things, and two, it's just something I prefer to wait like a week or so before, so that they're, I guess, fresher and everything. I prefer to have those kind of things ready for the day of, so soon. Good morning, Poi and Bones. Glad you guys could join us. And good morning to anyone else that happens to be lurking around. I think Aurora's planning to join us as well. But I told her it was about 8 a.m. when we would start, and it's a few minutes before, but I'm sure she'll show up when she gets a chance. So Wednesday, we of course had the house tours. Yesterday, we did the CBDC theme introduction. This month's challenge is winter rides. aka mounts. Design your own mount. It needs to be three-dimensional like this, so not a painting or anything like that. We want to kind of make it like you could actually ride it, even if you don't put a functional seat into your build. That's okay. It's just, in theory, you could, you would think, okay, I could hop on it and ride it around. It doesn't have to be an animal like this. If you just want to make a sleigh, a snowmobile, something like that, go for it. But I do know that a lot of us are kind of not mechanically inclined and might have a little bit more fun building some animals. The main thing is, of course, we want it to be some type of a mount. It doesn't have to be a single rider. If you want to make something for, a pair or several people, that's up to you. But it does need to be winter themed. So not just, don't make a camel or something that you would, expect in an environment other than a winter type place. So pick polar bears, reindeer, penguins, or go with using like an ice or snow theme, like an ice dragon or a snow wolf or something like that. Keep it something along those lines and you should be good. We've actually already got one submission. You guys work fast. I got that in the mail yesterday, so we have one entry so far, which is fantastic. I'm hoping that we get more and more as the month goes on. I do realize that a lot of you like to think about it, plan your attack, and then you get stuff worked in right at the last. So no worries, it's no rush. You've got the entire month to work on your projects, or project if you just want to do one. But I'm looking forward to seeing more and more submissions, and even if I can't say, well, it would be great if Carbine somehow fashioned a mount that looked something like somebody come up with. I still think it's a fun idea to kind of daydream about what kind of mounts you would like to be riding around on during the holidays. So I can't want a really thick jacket. Well, I guess if you want to get really snarky about it, sure. But that would be a little weird. Anywho, so yeah, but we're going to change gears today. I did say that we were going to do some type of Advent activity this month, or I was at least. It's not something you guys have to get into. You're welcome to make one if you want. That's up to you entirely, but this is just something I like to do. This will be the second year we've done it, so I'm hoping it'll be helpful, because again, doing the Advent thing, it allows me to make lots of little types of projects, and it might give you some ideas for your own builds, especially if you're planning or are currently working on decorating for the holidays. Okay, so to that end, well, I guess I should say show what I've been working on with the sled from yesterday. We did start this. It's a little chunkier than I actually would like, but the way I built it, that's just part of it. I'm probably going to shrink it down a little bit, but you can see I've doubled up the walls and then filled in the bits. It's even actually functional as some seats. This would be like for a guild. A guild could sit in here and take a. It'd be like good for posing for a picture or something, I guess, or taking your family out or something like that. So it's not like a one or two person kind of deal. It's able to fit several. Of course, when I shrink it down, that might change, and I'm not even sure if shrinking it down will affect the interactability with the seating. But yeah, it's mostly just domes and tubes, or cylinders, I should say, for a lot of the connections from side to side, and curved walls and flat walls to fill in all of the little bits between the bars. and then just extra bars to decorate it up. I added a few lamps. I've actually got one. I forgot to move it to my alt, so I'll have to do that later. Chua pillows for the main back of the seat, or the main seat, and then the bar stools for the bottom parts. So like I said, it's a little hunkier, and I still am not done with it. I have to lift it all up and add the actual sledding part, the little, I don't know what you call it, the planks. Um, but and of course I'm working on the decorations on the side. I'm wanting to do like little Christmassy colored flowers and stuff to kind of jazz up the sides. Again, I made the sides thick on purpose so that I could use items that are a little bit bigger, like this. It's just the right size to tuck that in. The bigger one here, I was able to kind of hide it in some of the seating part, so that kind of is like a little bit of a cheat. But like here, I won't be able to use a big flower here because it'll be sticking out into the seating. So have a big main one here, and then some smaller ones and other little leaves and things like that. But I'm not quite decided on how I'm going to do it, what colors I'm going to use, what patterns I'm going to make. But that's the start of it. So that'll probably be something we'll work on off and on throughout the next week. But today we're going to focus on the Advent tree. You can see I've set up one. It's just an exile wall for the background. The bottom of the crate bottom as the base of the tree. And then for the tree itself, it's just lots of the firework pieces, the green rocket. Those are like supersized. There we go. You can see the green rocket. It's really big, and I'm only using a fraction of it to get that pine tree look. I tried different variations on it, but this seemed to work the best. I wanted something that could be relatively flat along the surface of the background, and that way it wouldn't clash too much when I'm overlapping items to attach things to it. What we're going to be doing for the Advent is basically we're going to make 25 items that will be ornaments for the Advent tree. So I know typically we do like an unveiling each day for the Advent. That's kind of what the Advent thing is. It's usually like an Advent calendar. It's basically a kind of a fun way of counting down the days to Christmas or your holiday or whatever you want to call it. And because I don't stream every single day, I skip the weekends, and because we have like house tours on Wednesday, and then yesterday we focused mostly on the mounts thing for the CBDC, we're not going to be doing it the traditional way. Basically, I'm just going to try and keep up with at least completing 25 projects for the tree. So today we're going to do for day 1 and day 2. Since we missed yesterday, we'll catch up to today. And so that means since we have the weekend coming, Monday we'll catch up. So that'll be like 3 projects on Monday. And hopefully I can keep up the pace so that we don't get too far behind. But I'm going to try and keep with things that can work as a 3-dimensional thing, meaning it's not going to be like a painting type of style. It could be used in that way because we're going to be kind of laying it against the tree anyway. But I'm kind of trying to stick with things that you could actually pull away from the tree and actually use it. So like if I make a wreath, like we're going to try to do today, I'm going to try and make a 3-dimensional wreath that you could actually hang in a doorway or have it attached to a glass door or a glass window or something, that kind of thing, and you could actually see it from both sides and not have to worry about things sticking out. Now, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be able to do that with everything that we make, but I'm going to try, because a lot of times it's just, inconvenient because you can't make everything you want as a three-dimensional item. Like this, it'll be tough to kind of come up with design that works that well because we just don't have all of the nice clean parts that would work that way. We don't have a fully on white ball. The closest is probably the snowball, but it's like a very rare item. The next closest is using the cornerstones of the ice rock blocks. But if I was to shrink this down to make it like a doll size, like an actual plushie, those would disappear really fast. So we'll try our best to keep everything three-dimensional and just hang it onto the tree as we go. But some of the things may end up just being flat and have things poking out the back. So keep that in mind as we move along. So today we're going to do two things. The first one is we're going to work on a wreath. Now we've done wreaths in the past, and some of them have been three-dimensional wreaths, like the fall ones that we did with the wheatgrass clumps. But even then, they kind of looked a little funny from the other side because of the wheatgrass, the way it's built. It has kind of a see-through bottom. It looks much better from the front, obviously. And we've done some that are more like painting style by using like the overgrowth, just being able to see the top of it, and so you have the overgrowth, the hanging vine part sticking into the wall, so you just see the nice green. I think this is the way I did the one for last year's Advent. So today we're going to try and make a three-dimensional one out of some different materials. Obviously, or typically I should say, most holiday wreaths around this time of year are some kind of greenery, some kind of you know, like a pine tree kind of thing is what you're thinking of, that kind of a rich green. You probably could, if you're willing to use a lot of pieces, use some of the actual pine trees we have in game. The main thing you would have to contend with is usually the roots, but if you manage to get a hold of enough, let me see here. We could probably use the fallen one a little easier because most of its trunk is missing. Same way with the pine smashed if you want a really, really rich green one. This one's kind of a blue-green. It works too, but the other one, the smashed one, is a little bit richer. And of course, if you want those that have a little bit of dusting of snow, those would probably work too. But again, most of them you'll have to deal with hiding the trunk. Now, if you're building against a wall and you're just making a painting of one, you could probably hide it into the wall. But if you're trying to make a three-dimensional, I would stick with one of these two myself. I think the only things I've used these for typically is more like garland across the like a hearth, like a fireplace mantle. I know I've done it with that a few times. So other greenery stuff that you could probably use is like the brambles. These things here. Again, it's probably easiest if you're building it into a wall, so you can hide the roots really simply. But if you're willing to spend, you could probably just sandwich two of them together, root to root, and have it fluffy that way. Or I would probably just stick with the ones without the roots. Got both versions in the frosted style and the green. The brambles here, they work well as two. They just need more because they're a little bit more open and fluffy and see-through. So you might have to use more just to make it a little thicker. I think what else. There's lots of other green items that we could probably use, especially if you're just going with a painted version. We've got the leafy stalks here. You've got the green rocket here. Many other things. The one we're going to use, and probably one of my favorite green items, is the green pillow. If you're wondering what I'm munching on, again, it's a cough drop. I'm trying to keep the coffee down. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with now you could just make it flat if you want. It'd probably be a lot cheaper decor-wise to just make it flat and just make a little circle of some sort that way. But I'm going to be really free with my decor count here, and we're going to add multiples. So let's see. Now the pillow, you'll discover quickly, does not rotate on its actual center. I don't know where exactly that thing's positioned, but you can see if I rotated it, it's off center to itself. So you'll just have to make some adjustment. And this will be the same kind of technique I used for my cactus on Melon's plot. I just put several pillows together to make a little bit of a ball, kind of like the tires, making a hairball that way. It's just the pillow's a little bit more tricky because, again, it's off center every time you mess with it. So just get the angles like you want them and then eyeball it. I know a lot of builders don't like doing that, but it's probably the easiest. This also, you'll see, makes a nice little green star. And the lines and stuff kind of help get you to line it up just right. There you go. You could use this as just a plain old ornament if you want. Just turn it over. Let's just pick one here as the parent. So like you could turn it this way, and that would make like a nice little ornament. Again, I've used these as cactuses for making my own shapes and stuff. You could do that too. You could even add more if you really want to fill it up completely. I'm just going to leave ours like this one. So we have the little ball here as such. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trusty dome as a kind of a guide to help make sure I get it sort of round. So we're going to use a hollow dome. Because I like to eyeball a lot of things, but some things I do like a little bit of help to make sure I get it right, or close enough, I guess. Whoops. Now I use the hollow one because the way I'm going to place it, I want to be able to see just the edge. And you'll see what I mean here shortly. Now, depending on how big you make each section of the wreath will determine how many of these little mini the balls that you have to go all the way around. So pick a scale. At the moment it's set at 1, and I think that's a little too big for this. You could go with that, but I'm gonna make mine a little bit smaller. So we're gonna go with, I think, 7. I think seems fair to me. And I'm just going to put one right here. Now there's several ways that you could go about this. I alternate. I'm not consistent with how I approach something like this, but you could really do it however you want. Just whatever you find convenient, easy, whatever you like. So the first thing I would probably do is make a set of this, and let's see, we'll just call it green ball. Whoops. Make sure you grab the parent. Say new and then add link. So we have the set, the ball set. You could just place and link a second one, draw it over, and then do that for every little individual bit, and then just build up your wreath that way, which I've done. It's no biggie. Another way to do it is, which is probably really great, especially if you can like make sure you get like the center line to this dome here. You can make sure that this is centered, and it'll work out really good for you. I don't know if I can get that exact, but let's see. Probably the best way is to get that center point here. And then do it like this. Take your set, you have it saved in your set decor manager, right? Link that to the dome, and then since the dome is done, then just place all in link. Oops, wait a minute, let me try that again. Gotta resave that. So have your starting ball, save that. This one's linked to the dome, place all in link a new one, and then just rotate the dome. Then link the new set to the first set. You don't link it to the dome, because if you link everything to the dome, which is probably your first instinct, then when you take the dome away, then you have to relink everything up again. So I find it easier to link the first one to the dome, but everything thereafter to the first bit that you actually plan to leave. So this will be the mommy ball of all the others. So now that you've got the second one linked to the first, you just place on the link the next ball, and then you rotate again. And yes, I'm eyeballing about the distance. You could, again, just see what angle you want it at. If you wanted exactly, you know, one straight across from the other, that kind of thing, that's up to you. But we'll just do it like this. And then again, remember to link it to the mama, the leader ball grouping, whatever you want to call it. Place all in link again. Rotate the dome. See how just it's a very quick and easy way of doing it. I use this a lot when I'm doing things that I want in a particular shape, and circles is probably a very common one. You could do it if you want to make a straight line. If you're wanting to do letters or something, that's really easy too, but this one I think most people find troubling, trying to figure out how to make a nice circle. So yeah, I updated. I was a good girl. I made sure I updated it yesterday. And of course, if you get to talking or doing something, always just double check and make sure you've got everything linked before you put down another set. It's very quick and simple. You just keep at it until you get it all the way around. Now, because I'm freehanding it, as you'll see, when we come around to meeting up to the other end, they may not be exactly separated or the same distance as the rest. If you go by exact angles, if you know, okay, every 30 degrees is a ball, then you'll save yourself from that kind of an issue, I think, generally speaking. But for me, I just kind of use that as maybe the bottom or the side, or I just kind of adjust it slightly. You'll see what I'm talking about shortly. We'll just get through this ball thing. You can see it's a lot of pieces. So again, this would be something if you, especially if you're working on an interior of a prefab home or something and are just looking for some exorbitant way of filling up some extra decor. You have it to spend. You're not really concerned about space and everything. This is a fun little detail to throw on, but practically speaking, this isn't the way you wouldn't do it all the time, or not all over the place. You just have like one special door or something that you would put this on, and that would be the only place you have it, because you can see it's adding up really quick. And you can do this out of different colors if you want to have a different color wreath. It doesn't have to be green. It's just traditionally most are green, so that's usually the color I go for. But just like holiday trees, I've seen white ones, purple ones, pink ones, just whatever color you feel like. It's just most of the time we expect it to be green or have some kind of green in it. I don't know why. I think it's just because the pine tree is like an evergreen, so people like to use it. But you could have just a plain old empty twig and just stick some things on it, and that works too. So like if you want to use the purple pillows or even the ones with the tassels, pink one, you could probably work out something like that. Maybe the way the tassels are connected between each little grouping, it works out to make some kind of a weird, strange, pretty little pattern. The pillows will work out good for us because you'll see it's a pretty different green from the tree, and that'll be good. It'll help stand it out against I was a little worried I was going to have green on green and it'd be kind of hard to see, but I think the pillows are light enough where it will show up nice. But like some of these are out of place because that looks a little weird. Yeah, see how this is kind of warped up? I don't know why it's doing that. My bad for not checking it. See, now it's kind of like wonky. Oh well, we'll just leave it. I'll have a wonky wreath. It's so strange that it like works up like that. And of course, you can tell Katya's doesn't always correct it either. It just looks weird, doesn't it? Oh well, I don't know if I can fix it without. Look at the thing spin. Like woo. Let me try and fix that. crazy thing. I think it's these last three. Again, if you're wondering how I did that, if you have a set, you pick the parent, you hold your shift key down, hit the create button, and it creates all of those things in that little set. It's a really handy way of getting rid of something if you've got it kind of worked up. Okay, let me try that again. See if that should be the mom. Yeah. Place the link. If ever any of you have questions, though, don't hesitate to ask. I'm not averse to stopping what I'm doing and addressing a question that anyone has, because I know sometimes I've covered things, you know, some of the same things. This looks a little weird. Try that one again. I've covered things in the past, but some of you don't come every day or watch every single video, so you know, don't feel like you're causing problems if I have to stop and answer a question, because you know that's part of the purpose of this broadcast is to share those tips and tricks. So if you see me do something and you're not quite sure how I did it, just stop me and ask. It's no big deal. And good morning, Aurora. Glad you can make it. So let me fill that one in again. Like 2 more, I think. Maybe we can get away with 2 more. Last one, hopefully. See, look at that. It almost worked out perfectly. It's just a little slightly off, but I don't think it's that big of a offset that it's very noticeable. So see how, again, when you're doing this, don't link everything to the thing that you're using as your guide, in this case the dome. Just link the first part of it. Once you start linking all the others to the first part, then when we remove or unlink the dome from it, then these will stay linked. So we've got like this one. I'm going to unlink it from the parent so that I can just move away the dome, and now we have a nice little wreath. And what are we doing today? We're working on Advent stuff. Again, I try to explain that because I don't stream every single day, including the weekends and stuff, it won't be the traditional Advent, so it's not like we're going to build one thing each day. Like yesterday, we got kind of sidetracked with the CBDC stuff, so I didn't get to day 1. But I will try and keep up so that eventually we'll have 25 little projects to go on our Advent tree that we built. So today we're doing day 1 and day 2, so to catch up from yesterday and today. And the first one we're working on is a wreath, a holiday wreath. And this is just from a bunch of pillows. You can see you could use this for a lot of things. Maybe make some weird curtains, some girl's little dress thing. Um, I don't know what all you could use it for. A picture frame, you know, a really fancy mirror. Maybe some of you with those beach houses and stuff, you know, are looking for something for like a hula hoop or a wreath, like a lei kind of thing, a grass skirt kind of deal, that kind of accents and whatnot. This would be good. You'll also notice, let's see, where's the parent again? I think it's this one. If you were to lay it against a surface, it also changes how it looks. It looks like lots of little flowers. Obviously, the flowers are a little different shape because up here it's a little thicker than it is down here, but you can see how it changes the look of it. You know, imagine if we had little white pillows like this and have little white stars and stuff, that kind of thing. Okay. Let's just fix it up so it's nice and straight for that parent one. So we have our three-dimensional wreath now. And so now we need to decorate it with something. Now this can go any way you want, whatever you want to decorate it with. Little round ornament balls, flowers, berries. If you want to fashion some bells, a ribbon, it's just about anything really goes. I think the most common is usually people put like little red berries on there for like a holly type of wreath. And typically in the past, I think the favorite was using the red balloons, but of course those have become problematic because with the wind affecting them the way they do, they usually blow all over the place. So the berries kind of look like they're on crack or something, wigging out, and it's not practical to use them. It was probably one of my favorite because it was nice and bright and very, very red and round, and that was always a good thing. But we have to kind of think beyond that because, again, it's not very practical now that the wind affects them so much. Oh, yes, of course. I did work on the sleigh a bit. It's like I said, it's a little chunkier than I had hoped, but it's to be expected because of the way I built up the sides. You can see I've started working on a bit of a pattern using some of the Cassian candle fireworks. But basically, I just use domes to fill up some of the wall here. Some of them are cylinders, like this part here, so that I could just extend it to between the two. And then exile walls, curved walls and floors to finish off filling up between the framework. Obviously, the further away you get, a lot of the details are kind of lost just due to the size. So if I do end up shrinking this down at all, a lot of that will go away even at this distance, which is a shame, but that's how it works. Used cushions, the Chua cushions, the Chua pillows for the back part, and then the bar stools for the bottoms of the seats. So it is usable. You can actually have people sit in it. So it'd be great for like a screenshot group photo kind of thing because obviously a lot of people can sit in it. It's not required that everybody's submissions for this month's challenge be usable like this. It just happens that it worked out that way. Half the time when I use seats like this, they don't function at all. They just look nice. But it just happened to be that I could leave them at full size. So I guess it left them sittable, usable, whatever you want to call it. I kind of tried to stick with the tube-like design here, so it's also repeated at the underneath of the chair, and then it's just one big exile floor for the bottom. Of course, I still need to lift it all up and add the actual sled planks underneath. I'm probably not going to add any kind of a critter or anything in the front. This is going to be more like a decorative. Like I said, it would be something where your guild would come, or your RP troop, or maybe just you and a group of friends come, you know, all get into it seated, some of them on top, even if there's so many that you can't fit them all inside, and take a nice little group photo for the holidays, that kind of thing. So it's not going to be an actual usable one, but we're getting to it. So basically, though, theoretically, you would have wanted to do the design here first before you made the replica over here. But I found there was some troubles trying to replicate this over here because of the way I built it. So I had to take the outside frame first and then fill it in individually, because you can't actually just flip it. It doesn't work that way, or it didn't for me anyway, because of the way I use some of the pieces. So what I'm going to do is, once I get the pattern set up here, then I will just be slowly replicating it piece by piece on the other side, and hopefully it looks pretty similar, because I don't think it's going to be something I could just flip the other way, because then this part here would be right here at the top, that kind of thing. So I can't flip it this, you know, horizontally or whatever you call it, because then this one would be down here and that kind of thing. So it's a little tricky on how to replicate it, but I'll figure something out. But I'm planning to have designs all the way around, and inside here, strategically placed, like the flowers will probably be centered in the circles, and then other little details, leaves or viney looking stuff, I don't know what, will be all around here. And of course, I'll be adding the final lantern as well. But we'll see. That'll be something I'll probably work on off and on until we're done. So it could be we finish it up next week. It could be I string it out till the entire month. I'm not really sure yet. Just depends on how crazy I get with it, because I haven't checked to see how many pieces it is yet. But I know this one was like, I want to say it was like 70 something, just this little section. So double that, and then all the other pieces in between. I'm sure it's several hundred by now. Okay, so the problem of berries. What could we use as berries? Probably the easiest would be to use the red rockets. Not this one, because it's got the big brown stick that would be poking out the back, because remember, we're trying to keep this three-dimensional. So I would go, I call it the red rocket, I guess it's called the white one. Let's see. Oh, maybe it is red. Yeah, this one. It's white to me, but they call it red because it's got the red tip on it. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, a frost lion. Well, that sounds pretty cool. Is that going to be on Saphira? I'll go ahead and jot that down if it is. So just so that I have it on my list. BDC. Oh man, did that not save? Oh yeah. Gosh. Let me just. Whoops. I assume it's probably on Saphira, because I saw you had already cleared out some of the stuff from last month, from the bunker house. You're gonna do like Maddie. Maddie's using the bunker on the castle plot as their workspace for CBDC. I find it funny that folks are actually setting up a little spot just for that. It's like, man, that works good. Okay, so berries. Let's concentrate on berries. I would probably go with the red rocket and just get that squared up like so. And of course, you're going to want to make it small enough so that the white part isn't sticking out. It's going to make the berries small, but I think if you work it right, you can probably like tilt it and twist it, and it'll still look like little fruits. Or maybe I don't know, just some red accents, some kind of berry things. Usually the berries, I don't know why, but they're usually grouped in threes, which probably works out for me because you know me, I like my odd numbers. The main thing is just to kind of watch to make sure it's not sticking out in the back. Yes, I know they're not perfectly round, but you know, you work with what you got. Like so. Now, if you like a particular arrangement, you could do the same thing that we did on building up the wreath itself. Um, I prefer you not to Aurora. I messaged Green about the whole list of everyone that submitted entries, how many items they were, because I know, like, say they picked several that are well below 50. That means that someone that went a little bit above 50 on some of their pieces might still get picked because they've got the space for it. So I just listed everybody's and said, okay, this is how many pieces this was. Even the ones that went over the 50 limit, and said I sent them links to the thread with the screenshots and the video link, and of course they have the names of everybody's characters, so if they want to come and visit them in person, they can do that. I haven't heard back from Green, so I'm not even sure if they've gotten started on looking through it. I'm going to give them about a week. And if I haven't heard anything from them by then, I will reach out to them again via Twitter or something and try and get some word on their progress, because I know a lot of you need the space to work on other things or just want to move on to other stuff. And so, yeah, if it's really problematic and you just can't wait, I guess I could maybe arrange to have it moved to my my gallery temporarily, if you want. I don't know what kind of pieces we're talking about. If they're hard to come by or something, that might be a little bit troublesome, but I'd be happy to store them on my gallery plot, just so that they're. I probably should have done that in the beginning, just offer that for everybody and have it moved over to mine, but I didn't want to. That's an extra step, and I didn't want to add too many steps to it. But if it's a problem, let me know and we'll work something out so that we can at least make sure it's still available for Green to look at in someplace. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to getting started on NA plots next year, because that'll probably be one of the first places that we go to check out the museum, especially if Green gets around to inserting all of the new pieces. It'll be kind of fun to kind of check it out, how they displayed it and everything, what it looks like, and the museum itself. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I've had an NA character over there for some time now, mostly for the CBDC stuff, but I don't really go around visiting too much. I just kind of rely on checking out others' videos and screenshots and stuff. I think probably because it would be too tempting way back when to go ahead and start the tours, and I wanted to hold off on that for a while. But yeah, if nothing else, for those of you that don't have NA characters, we will be getting in touch with that side of things next year. I put up a little post and tweet about it, so hopefully NA isn't too scared. Going, oh no, the carrot is coming. Like the, you know, 2 if by sea or something like that, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. Something like that. Anyway, what I was going to say was, if you like the arrangement of your first set of berries and you want to just repeat that all the way around, you could do the same kind of thing that we did to get the wreath going. But for me, I like to kind of keep it a little bit more random. So I'm just going to make some 3 groupings arrangements here and there. The main thing is just make sure that the white like this isn't sticking out. You can see there's a little bits here and there. Hopefully it's not too noticeable. But if you find that something's not sitting like you want, then just change the size, change the depth of it, change the position, the angle, whatever you got to do. And what I do is if I have something like this, I kind of spread it out, and then as I think, okay, I could put some more, and then I fill it in a little bit in the spaces. So just start off just 1 or 2 all the way around, and then make adjustments as you go. Don't try and, okay, I would need 1 here, and I need 1 here, and I need 1 here. Or you could say like every 3rd ball, that's where something goes. You do it that way. You want to be very specific about it, but again, I'm kind of just keeping it random, sort of. Well, that thing just does not want to hide, does it? Let me do it this way. And like I said, if you find the size doesn't work right, just, if this seemed like too big, you were having a lot of trouble hiding the white part, like having it stick out there and you can't quite get it to snug inside, just change the size of the berry. Right now it's at 46, just change it to 35 or something, or 40 even would probably be just enough. And if some of it does stick out, don't beat yourself up about it. It's not the end of the world if there's a few little errors or whatever you want to call it. We can't make it perfect every time. Let's see. We can try. There's no harm in that, but I know a lot of us are kind of obsessed with perfection. That's why I think a lot of builders tend to not open their plots for months, even though it's probably actually pretty much done, because they're constantly adjusting things or they're not quite happy with this or that. And just don't get hooked up on that kind of stuff. As well, I know a lot of folks like to be, you know, one of the things about housing is the originality. And there have been cases where people will actually build similar things at the same time and not even realize it. And then one will show theirs off, maybe they finish earlier, show it off, and then the other person's like, oh no, it's going to look like um, I copied theirs when actually they probably built it at the same time, unbeknownst to each other. It was kind of the thing with when we first got the glass panels. Um, I didn't tell anybody what I was working on. I didn't show it, but in my own little space, I was working on that glass dome for the mall. And when I unveiled mine, everybody's like, "Oh wow, that's amazing!" And then I went and visited, and I actually came across like 3 other houses that had similar idea. So it's not like mine was the original and they copied off of me. It was very probable that they had already built theirs, maybe even before I did. I just hadn't seen it yet. Um, but don't feel like people are going to be pointing fingers, that kind of thing. Don't feel guilty about, because you know while there are many configurations that you can come up with using certain materials, some things just uh, are common. When someone looks at an item, a lot of people get the same, light bulb moment, and it just comes out. They'll look at a piece and go, that would make a great roof. Someone else looks at the same piece, that would make a great roof. Not everybody has, 1,000 different ideas that surround a particular item. So it's not unheard of that people will come up with the same use for a particular item. So don't feel like you are, going to be accused of stealing the idea or whatever. Now, if you are inspired by somebody's build, it's polite to either ask if you can use that idea for your own, or mention that, hey, such and such built this, and that's what gave me the idea for my version. Some people do that, some people don't, but I think it's polite to do that if you're inspired by someone. But if you actually weren't, and you just come up with the idea on your own without seeing someone else do it, then don't feel bad about using it or giving them credit for it or whatever like that. It's just it's not necessary. Kind of got off in a tangent there, but I just wanted to say, because I know that's goes through a lot of the minds of builders, myself included. I mean, I've done things that I think, well, wow, that looks really close to what I did. I can't remember. I visit so many homes. Sometimes I lose track of, did I see that someplace else and that's what gave me the idea, or that kind of thing. So, yeah. That's why I'm very open about how I do stuff, because I don't feel like I hold the patent on it. Just because I made a wreath this way doesn't mean someone else can't too. I'm actually showing you how to do it so you can, explaining my steps, my thoughts, and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of like just having the 3 groups here. So yeah, let's see, ribbons. What could we use for ribbons? I've used cheese in the past for yellow ribbon. There's actually some items in game that have ribbons on them, like some of the gift packages from Winterfest. There's actually wreaths that you can get if you don't want to make your own. Obviously, I think there's a gold one, and is it silver or green? I can't remember. Let me look. But there are actually 2 wreaths that you can get. I'm kind of mentioning this for those that haven't actually experienced Winterfest yet. Yeah, green, the classic one, comes with a bow, got little ornaments, and see they've got the berries and stuff too. And then the golden one with the blue ribbons. But you'll see like some of the gifts have ribbons on them. This one would probably be a fun one to use for a especially a painting version, you could just tilt it to the side, push it in, and you have a ribbon for your wreath. This one too has a yellow one. I don't really remember this one being available. Maybe I just only got one and haven't seen any others. The ones I usually see are these three here. I think I might have gotten a hold of one of these, but I think again it's one of those that's not as common as the others. And of course there's the ribbon on the stocking, which you could also use. It's basically just this one here, just in a different thing. A taco, you want a taco ribbon? You and your tacos. I don't know, you think that would look okay? Let's see. We'll go with her suggestion here. I think it's a weird idea, tacos. How would you even do that? Let me see. How in the world? Let's see, like this, sideways. Maybe I got that too big. Like, I don't know how you, I can't picture it in my head. Like that. That's some weird looking ribbon there. Maybe I should have straightened that up first. Okay, how did I have that turned? Uh, okay, there's the bow part, I guess. So and then for the little knot part, I guess you'd want one slightly smaller. Like, gosh, this is like the weirdest looking. It actually has some nice colors though. It's Christmassy colors, yellow and green and red, which works great. I don't know if I like that or not. Maybe it should be this way. No. My taco's just going all sorts of angles here. Let's see. Make that smaller. I don't know if I want it like this or flat. It just feels weird. And it feels like it's like bowed out away from the wreath. I want it to hang kind of down. How's that? Is that looking like a ribbon string thingy? We'll turn it just a little bit. And let's bring up our, we'll say taco ribbon. New, add link set, place all link. There you go. There's your taco ribbon. Taco bow. That's one strange idea, but it actually works out pretty nice. See, this one looks a little bent as opposed to the other. See if I can fix that. And got the green coming out. Let me see if I can cover that up a bit. There you go. A little bit. Again, if with the ribbons and the bows and things, you could use any color. It doesn't have to be yellow. I know I used the cheese last time. It was yellow. If you're, you could probably maybe use the rocket ends for some of them. It's a little trickier though because again you're having to hide some of it. Let's see, like for example, like if you want a blue and white ribbon, if you can hide it, you might could get away with using like just this part. It'll be tough though because you've got that big blue stick to hide as well, and especially because you'd want this part to be on this side, so it might be trickier. See if I can get something to work here. Just think it's gonna be really tough to have it show up. Probably the easiest, like say you want a red ribbon, I would go with the red dynamite, the firework piece here. I would probably make one out of that. Like, let's get this up in the air. And then we'll say this is the bow. Let me just change that to bow red. Say new. We're gonna rename this to bow taco. That way, if I'm looking for bows, I'll find the different versions in the same area rather than having to scroll through all the names. Go back to the red one, add link set, place all link, and then just make you a bow like that, and then just have like the string one for the little ribbon part. like so. Maybe not so long, but something like that. You want it a little wider, just make you another one. Ugh, my mouse is acting up. Like so. There's your ribbon. Again, though, these will disappear at a distance. This one shows up much longer than this. The trails of the ribbon for the taco one disappear pretty quick. At this size, this one works all right. This one looks brighter, but this could work as well. So like if you have all of these linked up, let's just link it to that one, I guess. So you could change it out, make several wreaths and just do them all different colors. Red and green and purple and white. For the white, you could use the same rocket that you're using for the berries. Just have the white part showing. But if you can find something that's kind of the same color, the Chua pillows would probably work too. I think a lot of people have used them in the past for bows and things like that. For green, especially if you use a different color green for your wreath, you could get away with using the green pillows for a wreath, for a ribbon. For white, if you want to go strictly white, I would probably figure the ice rock blocks would probably be your best bet on that. Again, though, at a smaller size, those would probably disappear pretty quick. Because you can see, just by example of the polar bear, see how his nose disappears, and this little spot, the wires are showing. It's only when they get closer that those things are covered up or show up, like his ears and stuff. So again, it's just things to keep in mind when you're building. If you know this is going to be seen on an interior part, then you probably won't really worry about that too much, because inside a room, your camera angle is going to be pretty close anyway. But if it's on the outside, like hanging on the outside of your door at a distance, even the pillows disappear quite quickly. So just something to keep in mind. Especially if you're planning to take like an overview of a screenshot kind of thing. Okay, so we've got the wreath. I'm just going to leave it pretty simple. You could get more elaborate, adding lots of other things to it, but I think we're going to keep it like this. So we've got the berry groups. Notice I'm linking them into their little personable groups, sets, or whatever you want to call them. And that's in case later I decide maybe I have the set and then next year I pull it out again and say, I want to add something different, or I don't like the position of them. Then I can change it up. Let's see, that's linked together. Let's put it to the center here. And then of course these are linked already. So the bow is the last part. I think that's all of it. No, bottom set, bottom set. Bottom set of berries. Okay, so there's our wreath. I'm going to leave it that size for now. We're just going to tack it on to our little tree here. Actually, let's just knock it down a bit. That's just way too big. So see how even if I want to do like a full-on picture of the tree, some of the details on this is going to be gone. Like the berries, they disappear. The poor little ribbon. Okay, we'll just drop that off there. So that's our first project. Let me move this to the side. So the second one is kind of related because it's again another kind of greenery. But we're going to talk about the difference between it and one that a lot of people get confused with. The greenery I'm talking about is holly and mistletoe. When you like even Google up pictures of mistletoe, you'll see pictures of holly and vice versa. The difference is holly is the one with the spiky leaves. It's got like the little thorn bits on the ends of the leaves, and they have red berries. The mistletoe has more rounded leaves, and they have white berries. And the mistletoe is the one that you hang up, and it's always where if you're under it with a loved one or something, you're supposed to give them a kiss. That's that one. And the holly is different. Now they're both used for holiday decoration. They're both poisonous and that kind of thing, but that's about the only common deal is with it. The holly is usually used for like you'll see them typically around like votive candles for like centerpieces and stuff. The holly berries are often used for the wreaths and things like that. But if it's a white berry, that's mistletoe. That's something entirely different. So I figured if we wanted to make a mistletoe bunch for like, say you want to hang it in the, say you've got like a plot that's set up as like a little Winterfest dancing room or something. And I don't know if you've seen it where like they have like the garlands kind of coming from the sides of the room and bowing and then meeting up in the middle of the room. And that'd be where like you have your disco ball hanging or something. Maybe you want a nice big clump of mistletoe laying there under, and then people underneath would have to go smoochy smoochy. But so you can tell from this, it would be pretty easy to kind of come up with some some holly from this. For the holly, if you're wanting to do that, I would go with the green pillows and using them like, where is that thing? There we go. And turning it to the side so that the pointy bits will act as the pointy bits of the leaf. Now I know we're actually supposed to be doing the mistletoe, but I want to try and show the difference between the two a little better. So if I'm doing the holly, I would probably go with something like so. I think this is something similar to what I did last year. I did a bunch of holly for one of the Advent things. So let's put, I'm going to mark it as mistletoe, but I'm going to build the holly first so we can see the difference between the two. So I'm just going to temporarily put this in here. So again, with the holly, I typically do like 3 little leaves. And notice I do a lot of things oversized, and then I reduce it down later, and it's just easier for me. I can very easily see what I'm doing. It's also easier to see if you've got gaps where you don't want them, and then it gives you time to fix it before you shrink it down. Because once something's smaller, it's really hard to get up in there and look at the details. So then you would add your 3 red berries. Now, because of the way this is built, it's not going to be convenient to use the red rockets anymore. So I would probably go with using the Chua pillows. Again, set it up straight first. That's like not straight at all. Oh gosh. Oops. And then try to make it round. It's kind of an odd shape, obviously. But at a smaller size, you can kind of get away with it not being perfect. But just kind of make it round if you can. See how that works out. Not too bad. And then link up that bit. And then have that be your holly berry. See, I'm actually gonna get caught up with, I'll be like working for tomorrow's advent here. So again, do the 3 berries. And again, once you link all this down, you know, shrink it down, some of it may disappear depending on what items you use. Use your best judgment on how big you want it. So like so, that kind of thing. See how at a distance the red pillows even go bye-bye? There's you a little clump of holly. Now the mistletoe you would want to do differently. You don't want the spiky leaves or the red berries, you want white. So best way to do that is we have the lily leaf that's kind of similar to the mistletoe. I would probably just grab several of these and make a little bit of a clump. Now the stem is pretty long, which is unfortunate, but if you put several of these together and then maybe just slightly slant it so that the stick is hidden, then maybe you can get away with. Probably should have made this straight up originally. And then for the berries, for white, again, probably, for me, I would probably go with snow clumps. Using them, you could use the cornerstone bits, but I think again you're going to come up with the issue of it disappearing, plus the fact that you'd have to use 4 of them to make a nice little round. If you're lucky enough to have gotten some of the snowballs, you could use those. That would be fine. Now again, this is for a 3-dimensional kind of representation of it. If you are just making a painting of mistletoe, that's much easier. You can use the bottoms of the fireworks and stuff. white picket fence, the little bow on that would work great. Um, uh, Many other things that could be used, but for like the berry on here, you'd have to really knock this down considerably, and you can see how it really disappears really fast. This is probably not the best piece to use because you have to use 4 of them to make a ball, and with the clumps at least it's not perfect, but it's close. It too will disappear at a smaller size. If you want to try and keep a little bit of roundness, you can just slap 2 of them together and do it like that to make it a little bit more round than it was. Excuse me. I think even these are a little too big. See how at 15 it's like, where did it go? See how it's unfortunate, but that's how the rendering works. That's again one of the reasons why I build oversized when I'm demonstrating certain things. You know, these, a lot of the details on these would just go completely off the charts when you shrink it down. It just wouldn't show up very well. So yeah, there you go. We've got 3 things that'll take care of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So Monday we'll have 2 to work on. So we've got the mistletoe, the holly berry, and then the holiday wreath. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope that gives you some ideas for some of, you know, maybe if you're looking for something to decorate your windows with, a door. Maybe you're looking for something to hang at the doorway. You know, you don't have a door there. You just want something, a little extra decoration. Or ideas for paintings, things. Again, I think you could probably come up with a better way of doing this. Maybe add a little bow, a red bow to, like, let's use this since we made it already. For the tying of the mistletoe here. See, I said this is it, and then I keep messing with it. I'm horrible at that. There we go. That looks a little more festive. So you would hang that like at the center of the room, you know, at your chandelier kind of thing. I don't know what. Maybe just a decoration for your kitchen wall or something. That would be all right. You could lay this flat and make that a centerpiece. Put a little votive candle right in the center for a table topper or something. That would work. Oversize a little bit and it'd be like holly-shaped pillows for your couch or something. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up and call it a day, a week, that kind of thing. It's been a busy week, so I'm looking forward to a little bit of a break. But we will continue on with this and the sled or sleigh or whatever you want to call it, and some more Advent projects. And we'll just work to fill it. So this thing's going to have like 25 doohickeys on it. I don't know what all we're going to make, but I'll come up with some ideas. And hopefully it will give you guys some inspiration for some of your own holiday decorations. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Good luck with your projects. Again, if you plan on participating in the CBDC, have already gotten something started, finished, whatever, be sure and reach out to me to give me all of that pertinent info so I can get it on the list so that I don't miss out showcasing your work, your project on the 30th of December. Again, I realize it's going to be a busy time for a lot of folks this month, but hopefully you can find a little bit of time here and there to kind of work on something, because again, this is a special CBDC. We are giving away some exclusive decor packs that were made especially for this event. So I'm really excited and hope you guys enjoy the opportunity to maybe get a hold of some of that goody stuff. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. Appreciate the follows, the tweets, the retweets, and the company in the chat. And hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.